So I just had a call where I went over something called entrepreneurial elimination. And what that means is basically how to not do the bad things so that you can do more of the good things. And this is really important because really saying no and the ability to say no to things that don't matter is the most important thing that you need, okay? There's a quote from Alex Almonzi that if you want to focus, the answer is no, right? If you want to actually focus on something, the answer to any other outside thing is going to be no. Okay, and so if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt. I built an agency and now I'm building a coaching business, basically teaching people what I did with the agency and still do with the coaching business. And really the whole goal with what we do is we help early stage agency owners hit 10K per month. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is go over this lecture that happened at Olympus, and what it's on is, as I just said before, the kind of ability, as Alex Almonzi would say, just to say no. Okay, so I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into it. So obviously, I'm sure we got other shit to talk about after the lecture, but in terms of what I want to show you two today, I think it's going to be really important, especially because the way things are going, you two, like Sinan doing the 600 pieces of outreach per day, Conrad setting up the Loom systems, the way everything is going, you guys are going to be scaling pretty fast in terms of like, you know, monthly recurring revenue, in terms of your network, like things are definitely starting to move up. I think what we're going to do right now, like this whole thing kind of boils down to one framework that I want to give you, but this one framework, I think if you can use it, it's gonna allow you to scale properly and not get kind of distracted by I guess outside factors, if that makes sense. So the whole title of this is entrepreneurial elimination, and all it comes down to is how to not do bad things so you can do more of the good things, right? And so coming into this, and first making this like kind of slides, I was making it in a different way, but I stopped and basically fully remade it because I thought there was this one thing that was really important, and you'll see it in a second. It's the metaphor I use of the jar of, I guess, value, but you'll see it in a second. I kind of remade it to be specifically around that because I think, like, you know, these lectures are going to happen weekly, right? And so it's not like you can take away 100% of the things from every single lecture, right? So ideally, what I want to do with these and these like coming up in the future is do them, and from every single one of them, it's all kind of concepts, right? But you take away one kind of key main point from it. Does that make sense?
You recorded them as well, right?
Yeah, I'm recording, and all the ones from now and the one on micro rots was recorded as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it then. So what we're gonna go over is saying no. Then, as I said, the kind of main thing, your savings jar, then easy versus difficult no's, and the 500K per year agency and breaking my finger. So kind of a metaphor for you. Okay, let's get into it. So first of all is saying no, right? So this quote here from, I just completely pulled it from Warren Buffett, but it really kind of encapsulates what I want to talk about, is that the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. And so you're gonna see that this is a theme for the entire video. And one more quote, this one from Steve Jobs. People think focus is about saying yes to the main thing, but it's actually about saying no to hundreds of other things or hundreds of other ideas out there. I'm as proud of the things we haven't done than I am of the things we have done. So obviously, if Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett saying it and I'm parroting it, it's probably going to be something somewhat important, right? If you want to be extreme and therefore get extreme results, obviously it's up to you to kind of the extent that you want to take this, right? But ideally, you're saying no to new friends, social events, holidays, and the main thing is non-main thing opportunities, right? This is really the main one. And I guess these are kind of like, I would say it's kind of a split, maybe 60-70% is this, and these ones are just like extras if you really want to get to that next level. But the main thing is non-main thing opportunities. Okay, I'm gonna explain what that means with the savings jar. I think the savings jar is like the best way for me to kind of go over this perfectly. So you may think it's hard to say no, but it's actually easy. You just need to see it in a different light, right? So I'm gonna call you out here because I feel like Sinan, this one relates to you a lot more.
Yeah, especially.
But I think what's the word? Like I think you're very agreeable. You know what I mean? So I think like just like the how do you even say it? Like the confrontation of saying no. I would say that's something that you struggle with. So especially like you might see saying no as a thing that's hard to do. But like when you look at it like this, I'll explain it right now. Saying no to something does not mean you're saying no, right? What it means is you're saying yes to the thing that matters. So you're not saying no. You're just saying more of a yes. So let's say someone invites you to let's say the Adonis School guys that you went up, that they went on that meetup with, invites you to a 1 week camping trip. And at the same time, like you're setting up your SMS, right? So you can kind of decide. Saying no to the camping trip means saying yes to the agency and building up the code SMS thing, right? So if you allow this, that, right, one-off paper here, one-off dinner here to take you away from the big thing that matters the most, your likelihood of success will drop. And also, I mean, I'm telling this to you, Sinan, and you, Conrad, and anyone else who watches it in the future, but I'm also definitely telling this to myself, right? There's so many times where I've gone to a dinner where looking back, it doesn't make sense to, right? And obviously, like, it's great, it's fun, it's enjoyable. I did this thing, I did that thing, right? The majority of things that I do end up doing, I think I need this training a lot, just as much, if not more than you guys do, right? So next thing is, as I just said before, I'm gonna reiterate it. Saying no equals saying yes to the thing that matters the most, right? So you're delaying gratification, right? But saying yes equals saying no to the thing that matters the most, which is instant gratification, right? So when you're saying no, you have the gratification of like agreeing and being on the same page, right? It's fun, but in the long term, you have to deal with that. Whereas saying no right now, maybe it sucks, maybe the person gets a bit sad, whatever, but long term, it's going to allow you to focus on the one thing that matters the most, right? And people who reach out to you right now are reaching out to you because of the small amount of success you currently have from focusing on the thing that matters. So going from where you were, I don't know, 2 years ago to where you are right now, the only reason that you got here is because you're focusing on the thing that matters, right? So what do you want to do to get further? Well, it's obvious, do the needle moving work. And the only reason that you have the opportunities that you have right now is because of the needle moving work, right? So the doors that are open right now, those doors will be open, and more likely than not, way shinier, cooler doors will be open too, if you were to focus on the one thing that matters the most for an extended period of time, right? Those doors aren't going to go away, and better doors are going to be opened when you're at a higher level from focusing on the thing that matters, right? So this is the kind of the big thing that I wanted to show you is the savings jar, right? So this is your savings jar, okay? So when you say no, you add units to your saving jar, right? So if you say no, saving jar goes up and like you get more space, you get more units in the jar. When you say yes, you spend your savings, okay? And I guess we can call this like a jar of, I guess it's really just a jar of time and energy, right? So if you can say no, then you're going to increase it, right? But if someone asks you to do something and you say yes, you're spending units of energy from the savings jar on whatever activity it is that you're doing. And so ideally you do this. You say no to anything else that could put your savings to jeopardy and consistently keep cashing it in on things that matter the most, right? So imagine if this was you, right? You say no to everything and put all of every single last unit of time and energy that you have in your savings jar towards the work. Say no to everything, put it all back to the work. No to everything, all back to the work, right? That's the ideal situation for you to be in. We're going to grow the most. So when it comes to actually saying no, there's really two different ones. There's easy and difficult no's, yeah? So there will be no's that come in different difficulties, right? So it's stupidly obvious and easy to reject when a bad offer comes your way and you say no, right? But the issue is, it's the juicy, elusive, super shiny offers that look really good that when you say no to them, you heavily increase your savings, right? And these no's are a lot harder to give out, right? So what I was talking about, the last thing, is an example of a very easy no, or I guess a very hard no and a very easy no, okay? And so this is the 500k per year agency and breaking my finger. So the first one, and the one that's hard to say no to, is the very first outbound message I did for my one-to-one program, SSS, before Olympus, was to a guy who like had plans to start an agency, right? And he was already making $500,000 a year from tutoring. He's making 500k per month cash profit from the tutoring business that he had set up, right? We talked about it for a bit, and I was sure I could get him on as a client, right? Like money wasn't an issue at all. But then he offered me to join his agency with him. So, because obviously, like, you know, I'd been in the agency space. He could see I have tons of knowledge and time, and I have the time to obviously work on it if it was all I was doing. And he had the capital to start with heavy paid ads, right? So that's a very, very good opportunity. Right? I'm just starting one-to-one, and this guy comes and says, okay, I'll pay for all the paid ads. I just want you to put your knowledge and time into it. That's like a golden opportunity. This offer is super enticing, right? But then offer two is I found out that if you make a fist with your thumb inside it, like you make a fist, like, you know, it's like how you're not meant to punch. If you make a fist, thumb inside it, and like you kind of snap your wrist. Don't do it, by the way. Snap your wrist. You can tear a ligament in your thumb. Like you can tear your own ligament, right? Which is kind of stupid. And someone said to me, do you want to try and do it, right? So obviously offer one is a lot more enticing than offer two. Offer one is this big opportunity, and offer two is like, do you want to try and break your ligament just to see if it works, right? So obviously easy answer, right? Which offers way more enticing, the agency or the broken ligament?
I think the agency, the offer.
Of course. So if I say no to offer 2, which is the easy one, I get the reward of not breaking my finger, and also some time and energy saved, right? Because if it did break my finger, I'd have to go to hospital. I'd have to. It's just annoying, right? So let's say I save 10 units of my savings, right? However, rejecting offer 1 is massive, right? It's incredibly massive. So not only does it let me go all in on Olympus because I have more time and energy, but also the drive that it gives me every day of thinking I turn that down, I have to make this work. It kind of loses those things, and in comparison to 10 units of saving, all those probably give me, I would say 5,000, honestly, not even 500. All of those probably give me 5,000 saving units. So 500x more than not breaking my finger, right? So when you are saying no, obviously the ones that, it's the offers that really sound good that are going to be the ones that actually kind of test you, right? But then the ones that actually test you and you can still say no to are the offers that actually are going to move the needle most, right? So as I said, it's those genuinely exciting, good looking offers that when you say no to them, you really say yes to the main thing, right? The bigger the no, the bigger the yes to the thing that actually matters. So as I said at the start, super simple but important lecture. And as I said before, it will be uploaded so you can always come back to it if you're wondering what your move should be, right? So remember, saying no to a new opportunity is saying yes to the thing that matters the most. Saying yes to a new opportunity is saying no to the thing that matters the most. And the thing I really want you to kind of picture is the savings jar, right? Saying no, you increase the jar. And when you, this is the main thing, when you say yes to non-main thing opportunities, you're spending your savings, which should be going towards the one thing that matters, that you should be constantly spending on, which is the main thing.